In this video, we're going to be talking with Dr. Scott Brown, and we're going to be watching him. You're going to listen in on a conversation that he and I had where he was getting ready to place an additional 4 options order. He's going to buy an additional 4 calls in the eMini S&P. He's already got 2. He wanted to add on to his position for a total of 6. Then we talk a little bit about why he's doing what he's doing and what the results are that he anticipates having. So let's go ahead and listen in to my conversation with Dr. Scott Brown. Okay, there you go. You got 6.
Nice. Okay, great. So notice it took the order, and so now what we got is we got 6 options with expirations out in mid-January. It's very important that to always remember that you don't want to be in the option the last 30 days before expiration. So when you're trading, especially when you're trading long term, because your theta starts to really hammer out on the options. Now, if these options go really, 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 really deep in the money, then theta can become negligible because theta, which is time decay, is going to hammer hardest at your extrinsic value, and it doesn't affect the intrinsic value at all. Can you explain that better, Alan? Sometimes people have a hard time understanding that concept.
I think you explained it pretty well. If they need more help on that, we've got educational courses over at tradementors.com. They can come over and watch. That'll help them understand that a little bit better, but I think you explained it.
Great. So for now, we're up almost $400 on the trade.
Okay, you just bought 6 options. Tell us a little bit about what it would take to get you to liquidate. When do you take profits? When do you liquidate? What's your overall long-term strategy with these? And again, I've asked you why you place your orders so far out of the money. Why don't you go closer to the money? And you mentioned before that it's because of convexity. We've had a video on convexity once before. If you want to just quickly touch on what convexity is, why you put your options so far out of the money, what your thought is there, then we can wrap this video up.
Yeah, sure. So if we go out to the 3055 that I just put on, 3055 call, and then if we scroll all the way over, we'll find the delta. And the delta on these is registering as 0.02. But notice that the delta comes up pretty fast as these go into the money, right here till they hit at the money, if they go at the money. So the main thing to understand is that I've got 6 calls here with a delta of 0.02. Yesterday, for some reason, I thought that it recorded a delta of 0.08. That's no problem at all. So
yesterday it was, right?
Yeah, it was. But it was 0.08. Today's registering as 0.02. Okay, whatever, no problem. The main thing to understand is that if you take 6 times 0.02, then you're going to have 0.12. So by purchasing 6 of these calls, I'm replicating the returns of 1/10 of one full-size eMini contract. As this goes deeper and deeper into the money, since these started at 0.02, if, for instance, it goes to 0.1, then I will have a position that will have a delta of 0.6. If it's moving up, it'll give me as much profit as a little bit over half of an actual underlying contract. So the main thing to understand is if this thing goes up and goes further, deeper and deeper into the money, the deeper it goes into the money, the more money I make per unit. If it falls back against me, the less money I make per unit, which again is this whole concept.
You mean the less you lose per unit? So if it goes against you, the less you lose per unit. That's convexity. That's due to the delta.
And what's that?
No, I was just reiterating what you just said. That's what convexity is, and it's based on the fact that the delta increases, the market rises, and it decreases, the market falls. Therefore, you're losing less money as the market goes against you, and you're gaining more money as the market increases in value.
Well, we've had a couple of cases with 2 different experts that, quote unquote, supposed experts in options trading, who have this just like lexicographic memory of every single possible complex option trade on the planet. And, you've known me trading options for years, and you also know that I've made more money than those guys probably combined. And, when you think about it, I never use complex positions, right? I use very, very simple positions because I'm capturing chunks of movements in the underlying asset, whether that
You pay
in this
very
case,
close attention to whether you think the market's going to rise and fall and to what levels. Whereas a lot of these people, they don't, they don't take that into consideration. They just use their little options calculator and, oh, hey, this says I'll be a millionaire beyond my wildest dreams, by putting on this option strategy, this naked dragon with a fiery leg, or whatever you want to call them. They the weird names on them.
crazy. You know, a friend of ours says that those things were all those any complicated option position was created by brokers and set forth fees out of people's accounts, and I believe it.
Well, it's the more complicated you make your trade, the more difficult it is to track and how much money you're going to be making and make the adjustments that you need and necessary. I mean, keep it simple.
I mean, there's a lot
and I think you're a perfect example of that. I mean, you've turned $33,000 into over $1 million, and you've done it through keeping your trading strategy simple. You haven't done all these complex, wild and crazy dragon butterflies and naked legs and fiery buffaloes, and keep it simple, folks.
Yeah, and people, there's some cold classics that people should really read, like, for instance, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator by Jesse Livermore. And, Jesse Livermore makes it really clear to people. He says the big money is in the long-term moves, where you sit and wait for a long time. And so one of the things I noticed in the futures market in particular is these old, usually, desperate geezer guys that are running around trying to make a fortune in the futures market. And they're all trading really short-term moves. They're trading options, futures options with 15-day expirations, and they're in and they're out, and they're in and out really quick. And they don't stop to take a look at how many trades they're placing in the account. And at the end of the day, these guys end up, out of money. They run out of money. And if they would slow down and focus on the longer-term moves and very carefully place their trades, these guys would go from unprofitable to profitable in many cases.
Well, I think that's sound advice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, coming from you, it's got to be sound advice. That's what you've been doing, and you're the most successful trader I've ever met. So,
well, I mean, I have a real sound methodology, because the honest fact is that it's very, very easy to not make money in these markets. And then the weird thing is it's just as easy to make money in the markets as it is to not make money in the markets, because it's basically the flip side of the same coin, which is what's really strange about all of this. In a lot of cases, it's overcoming your own psychological biases that you're bringing into the market and stripping those away. So you're just basically like a surfer on a wave, or you're like a professional pilot, like in the movie Scully. I was talking about Scully and Tom Hanks and the way he's able to really control his emotions, and you can really see it when the birds blow out the engine. And he's well aware of the fact that he's about to land a whole bunch of people on a river, and people have not survived doing that in the past. And you can tell it doesn't even wrinkle him emotionally. And that comes from training. And man, you've got that training. You're a pilot. I think this should resonate with you.
All right, Scott. Well, let's. I appreciate you. I think we better wrap it up at this point. We're going a little bit long, so I appreciate you coming by and letting us watch you make your trades and give us the insight that you've got. Again, like I said, you're the most successful trader I've ever met, and so it's great to be able to get you online and watch what you're doing and have you give us your insight as to how we should proceed ourselves.
Well, thank you, Lan, and I'll just keep, every time I do a trade, we'll do a video, and you'll just learn my methodology watching me do it.
All right, man, I appreciate it. We'll catch up with you next time. All right.
Over now.
All right, bye-bye.